Talk about another great thing happening starting this weekend.
Right, and Stivers for Lincoln, downright proud to salute great organizations in town, and boy, did we find one, Jackie.
Well, I tell you what, if you follow the theater scene, there's been some big announcements here recently, including the start of another theater company that is doing some incredible things and a very limited performance that's starting this weekend. Megan Helmers is here, director of a production called Lungs. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Tell us first of all about this brand new theater company.
So the new theater company, Open Door Rep, was founded by a couple friends of mine, Josh and April Visnapu and Michael and Renee Davenport, to increase accessibility to theater. So the idea is the ticket prices are very low. It's $10 per show. The theater takes places in spaces that you might not normally expect to find theater, so it's found spaces, pop-up theater. Our show this weekend is in a photography studio, for example. And then the idea is that the plays are very minimalistic to keep costs low. So the sets, costumes, lighting, it'll all be very bare, very spare. And hopefully this gives people more opportunities in the area to foster new partnerships and maybe direct a show if they've never done that before and get their foot in the door, so to speak.
Because there's a lot of great theater out here in Central Iowa. We're very proud of the talent and the theater that we have, but we're always looking for new and great opportunities. And
Absolutely.
This is what they were thinking when they put this together.
Yeah, I really think so. And I really hope it does give new theater artists a chance to maybe try their hand at something new.
And I love the idea of going into unique spaces as well.
I do too. I think that's so unique, and it's something that we haven't really seen in the Des Moines theater scene so far. So something different for audiences.
So how big of an audience will it accommodate?
This particular performance, we think we can fit about 60 people in per show.
So very intimate.
Very small, very intimate, absolutely.
Well, let's talk about the show. Last time we saw you, kind of a similar situation with Tick Tick Boom over at Noche. How is the performance of Lungs similar or different to what we're going to see this time?
Well, this is a really interesting script. Lungs is a straight play. Tick Tick Boom, of course, was a musical, and so that was a little bit different of a performance style. But this is a short script that follows the trajectory of a couple throughout the relationship over, say, 50 to 60 years.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So it's just two characters, and the script is written in a very interesting stream of consciousness style. There are no scene breaks. There's nothing to indicate the passage of time other than what we've interpreted in the script. So you get to follow this couple and their central decision of basically whether or not to have a child. The script is really interesting. It's written in a very true-to-life fashion. I read the pages and I think, oh my gosh, I've said these very words in my own relationship. So I think it's a really interesting story and a very well-written script, and will be just a totally different, unique performance.
Wonderful. Well, Marnie Straight, one of the two performers that's going to be in the production starting this weekend. Tell us a little bit more about the production and why you wanted to be a part of the very first show with this brand new theater company.
So Josh and I, Josh Visnapu, founder of the company, also the other actor in the show, we did a staged reading of this last summer, and this script just really spoke to me. To what Megan said, the conversational nature, and it just really feels like a true relationship, the way that they talk with each other. But really, I'm in my early 30s, and also kind of in that moment of, do I want to have a child? Do I want to be a parent? And this show just raises so many questions, answers few, but it's just really great food for thought. And I don't think it just speaks to you if you're in that position in your life either. I think that it just speaks so many truths about a relationship, about how both of these people at times in the show are just so good-natured, and then at other times so flawed and almost mean. But it's very true to life. I love how it reads, and I think it's going to be a really perfect performance for this venue and this style, in that it's so intimate. There are going to be times when we're inches from audience members while we're performing, and I think that's going to bring a lot to the sort of raw nature of the play and the minimalist nature that we're presenting it in.
Can you talk a little bit more about the circumstances when you hear the word lungs, or you see the artwork that goes along with this production, and we'll share that on our social media sites? That kind of gives me a totally different perspective than a couple trying to decide if they should have a baby. How does that kind of all correlate?
I would say one of maybe the next largest theme in the show is the state of the world, what the future may bring, and I would say a bit of a bend toward climate change concerns. There's one conversation in the show where they're talking about how every new person born brings 10,000 tons of carbon dioxide into the world. And you know, how much has already been put out since the Industrial Revolution, and it gets a little overwhelming and scary. And I think that many of us, when we think about that, you know, you think about it and then it's too scary and then you just kind of put it away. And you're like,
When you start those conversations with loved ones, sometimes it can go down paths
I'll be gone
you don't
by
even
then,
realize.
it's fine. So it, you know, it really just, I think there are so many topics that this show really gives you food for thought and a lot of food for conversation after the show. And actually, opening night, there will be a small reception after. So if there are still tickets left, which there may not be.
I was going to say, I've already seen on social media
Yeah.
as of yesterday, not many tickets available for opening night. So we encourage you to get them very quickly. Also because, Megan, there's not a whole lot of performances.
No, that's sort of the ephemeral nature of pop-up theater. We put on a show in this found space, 4 performances, and it's done. If you miss it, you miss it. It's
4?
4
That's it.
performances. That's it.
And
If
it's
you
all
miss it, it's
happening
gone.
this weekend.
This weekend, we have 1 show Friday, 2 on Saturday, and 1 on Sunday.
Okay.
No, Marty, Megan said that when she was reading through the script, she saw herself reading some things that she said. Now, when you're performing, are you performing anything that maybe you have said?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, really?
My husband.
You didn't even hesitate on that
My
one.
husband came to the staged reading last summer, and afterward he's like, it is weird how many of those things you have directly said to me. There's a running thing with the character, how she falls asleep during movies, and that is like a terrible habit of mine. And like, so we joked about that. But even just the way that they argue and the way that they talk to each other affectionately, it's so realistic. And more than almost any other relationship I've read in a script.
All right, folks. Well, it's happening this weekend. Only 4 performances. We encourage you to get out there. I think there's always excitement and anticipation when there's something new in the Metro, so we're really encouraging everybody to get out there. But if you could say anything to everyone that's watching right now, what would you say to make sure that they don't miss out on this particular production?
I think this is a script that is unlike anything that has been seen in, Des Moines theater in a long time. The 2 performers, Josh and Marnie, are just so talented. They work so well together, and then to add this incredibly cool space, this photography studio that we're
And where's
doing
that
the show in.
located?
It's on Morningstar Drive on the north side of Des Moines.
Okay.
The address is on the website, opendoorrep.com. It is a residential area, so you'll want to get on our website and see our advice about parking. But I think it's going to be really cool and different, and just a totally unique thing for audiences this weekend.
And what would you say, Marnie, to get people there?
This is just a script that I want everybody to hear. Everyone who's seen it, read it, has loved it, and it's totally worth your time, which is not very much. It's only a 75-minute play. So you can be in and out and go enjoy the rest of your evening and talk about what you saw.
And we have been talking about this morning, the wonderful thing about pop-up is you're also keeping the cost low. How much are we
That's
talking
right.
for tickets?
$10 for tickets, that's it. And if you get one of those remaining Friday tickets, that includes wine.
All
Yeah,
right.
right.
Hey, even better. Okay, so Open Door Rep, folks, get more details about something hopefully we're going to be seeing more and more of with this wonderful new theater company that has popped up.
Wonderful. Well, thank you both for being here. We really appreciate it. There's your times of the shows. Like one show there on Saturday the 29th, a couple of different times, afternoon and evening performances. Perfect.
Wonderful. Downright proud to salute a wonderful organization that we're going to be hearing more about right here in our program. Thank you, Megan and Marnie, for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
All right, 7:38 right now, and we will be right back. And folks, when we come back, Funny Bone is doing something very unique tomorrow night, and Bill Blank is going to tell us all about that when we come back.